Hey community, how are you? Janine Macklin here, your transformational speaker, wealth guide, and catalyst. And I thought I would just hop on for a moment. We have 5 days until we begin a new decade, which is so exciting. Um, but additionally, what's exciting is just this time of the year. I always find it amazing how the focus is really on lights. Happy Hanukkah to those of you. Merry Christmas to others of you. Happy Kwanzaa to others of you. And we get ready for an incredible winter solstice. So all this transformational energy is happening on the planet right here and right now. So don't miss out on what's happening. I did this earlier. I'm going to see if you can see it. But I keep looking up at the mountains, the snow on the mountains. I don't know if you can even see it over there. I don't know if it looks like snow to you, but back there, there's snow on the mountains. It's absolutely beautiful. But what I want to talk to you about is oftentimes at this time of the year, we're looking at what we want in our life, how we want life to be different, how we want, oh, my fountain's still running, how we want to experience things different in our life. We're looking at what our goals are, what we want to be different for next year, and we're really gun-ho about this new year that's coming. It's a wonderful ritual that America has created. But before you go to what you want and what you need and what you want to see showing up in your life, one of the things I would ask you to do is look at this question, and that is, what are you willing to make room for? If you figure everything you want to bring in your life is going to take up space. Everything you bring in your life has an energetic energy to it, so it's going to take up space. If you bring in a new goal of regarding your weight, that's going to take up space and energy. If the goal is around money, how are you going to manage your money differently? If the goal is that you're going to take trips and vacation, whatever the goal is, what I'm wanting you to do now is create the space for it now. Create the space for it now. So how do we do that? What does it look like to create space for the new things we want to see showing up in our lives? How do we do that? How do we make that happen? Well, for me, that's the fun part of it, because we already know new things are coming. I mean, just looking at my tree right here, I'm looking at my tree and it has, they're orange, they're tangerines. I'm like, already? Letting go of some things, new things are already. So the same thing is true for us. What is it that you want to bring in? Write all that down. But more importantly, what I want you to look at is, what are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to let go of? So you have to create space for what you want to see showing up in your life. You have to create space for the new thing. Job, if it's a relationship, if it's better health, if it's a book that you want to write, if it's a relationship that you want to see blossom, if it's how you show up in your work and your job, all that's real and all that's possible, and you can have all that. The shift that has to happen is that you create the space for it. Create the space for it. And that's going to be, and I don't know if I'll get here every day like I promised in my other group. But for today, what I want you to look at is, what can you create space for in your life? And more importantly, what can you let go of for it to show up? If you have a new dream, you have a new goal, you have a new idea that you want to see showing up in your life, create the space for it to show up. And how we do that is by letting go of what no longer serves us. So I want you to start simply today looking in your living space, whatever it is, wherever it is, and decide what in that space do you no longer use. It's just there and you're not even using it. It's old, it's outdated, it may not even work. Men and women, look in the closet. There's tons of clothes in there. You don't even wear them anymore. They don't fit, you don't like them, the style has changed. Why do you still have them? Go in your garage. What's in there that you don't use? There are so many Americans now who have garages filled with items you don't use, and then you go get storage to keep more items that you don't use. Where in there can you let things go? What I want you to understand is just the act of being willing to say, okay, I'm going to let this go, let this go, let this go, creates this incredible dynamic relationship with you and the universe. Because as it goes out, just like the ocean, we know it's going to come back in. So as you release it, you can know that things are going to come to you. Just the act of releasing it, just the act of creating the space will allow you to then plant new seeds in fertile ground. But right now, if the ground is dry, if the ground hasn't been fertilized or nurtured, if the ground has been basically overgrown with all these other things that no longer serve you, then they're taking up space. And more importantly, what you may not realize is all that stuff you have in your home and everything you're not using and in your garage and everything, it's blocking. If you have things that you are not using, that you don't find value in, and you don't share them with someone else, and they just sit there in your house, that means you don't find value in them. So how are you going to allow more value to come into your life and your experience holding on to things that you find no value in? Does that make sense? So today, when you get home, you get wherever you get, look around. Just do that degree. Just look all around and say, okay, what in here that I need? What is it in here that I no longer use? What is it in here that I have no value, no more value for me? Because what doesn't have value for you probably, no doubt, has value for someone else. And maybe you can just feel the energy of what it'll mean for you to move those things out of your house that no longer serve you, or that you're no longer using, or you no longer want them. It's going to create space. So that's the starters. Go in the closets. Look at the clothes, look at the shoes, look at the shirts, look at everything that you're not wearing, that you're not using. We have so many homeless people on this planet. They could use any of that. Stop telling yourself, oh, I'm going to lose weight. No, accept who you are. Because if you keep holding on to clothes that you no longer can fit, you're saying to your body, I don't like you the way you are right now. I want you to go back to the way you used to be. That's going to bump up against every desire you have for healthy life, for healthy living, for healthy meals, for healthy weight. So let it go. I am always amazed at, I want to say how small my closet is. It used to be a lot larger. I was in a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house, huge walk-in closet and everything. I'm constantly recycling my clothes. If they're in there for months and months and I'm not wearing them, I'm letting them go. Someone else can use it. And it opens up a way for more to come to me. So that's what I want to ask you today, to look and see. You've got all these goals. I'm sure you're thinking about, oh, next year it's going to be this and next year I'm going to do that. And that's wonderful energy. But more importantly, how do you prepare for next year? What are you willing to let go of today? Because tomorrow I want you to let go of something else. I'll come back on and tell you what that is. And the next day I want you to let go of something else. So today, your house, your car, your garage, your apartment, your condo, your room, wherever it is you stay, what in there are you no longer using and it no longer serves you? And you're willing to let it go freely for someone else. And as you let it go, I'm always trying to do this, but I can't do it. Let it go. My hand is to let it go in that direction. You're over here in the other direction with your hand open to receive. You can't receive anything if your hand's full. You can't receive anything if you're bottled down in all this. I don't want this. I don't want that. Oh, what am I going to do with it? You can't receive what's new if you're still holding on to the old. So what are you willing to let go of to make room for what you say you want in 2020? Let's start there. Janine Macklin, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. I will let you know. It'll probably be JanineMacklin.com/money mastery for the book. And there'll be a coaching group that'll be starting, probably online initially for the group. We wanted to do a tour, but we haven't been able to find out from many of you where you live to see where our tour stops would be. So that's coming. But for now, you want something new in 2020, in this dynamic energy, start with the old and let it go. Tomorrow, I'll give you some more. Bye for now.